What's up, guys? It's Instant Reaction, an instant reaction to the Buffalo Bills-Miami Dolphins game last night, which we'll get to the Josh Allen perspective of it all. I'm going to definitely rain some praise down on him. I'm definitely going to rain some praise down the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to continue championing my belief in the Buffalo Bills and the exact reason why I picked them to win the AFC East. But I'm not going to act like something major didn't happen last night, like that the game itself got stolen from him, the spotlight of it all, and, you know, that's okay when it's something so horrific that happened once again. Tua Tagovailoa had his fourth concussion last night. You know that by now. The whole sports world knows that by now. I'm not breaking any news. However, this is what I will say. I don't believe I will have the same take as other people. And maybe it comes off a little hasty or maybe to some even a little rude. That's not how I built my audience. That's not how I built, and that's not how I've continued to grow my audience. Two things you can expect from me: trustworthiness and authenticity. I'm not going to lie to you, ever. The Tua Tagovailoa situation last night, as it happened, as it's unfolding on social media, I believe people are just being really disingenuous about the situation. When these kind of things happen, I like to at first put myself in the situation of that player. What would I do if I had $40-something million in the bank regardless, and I had my fourth concussion, and I'm married, and I have kids? What would I do? It's so easy for us to look at this situation and say, oh, he's got to retire. Tua Tagovailoa's got to retire. This isn't your 9-to-5 workday job where you just had a construction job, you just had to retire because you just couldn't take anymore. This isn't just a job to Tua Tagovailoa. This is his livelihood. This isn't banking. You start playing football if you're Tua Tagovailoa at what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old? I'm not going to tell the guy that he needs to retire. Now, do I think it's probably the right decision? I don't know. I'm not the doctor. Maybe it wasn't as bad as we all thought. And for everyone lecturing me about you got to trust the doctors, let's trust them. Let's wait and see what they have to say. Maybe it's not as bad as we think. But this is Tua's livelihood. And in every single career, for the most part, you naturally get to know when your time is coming up. You don't just one day walk into the office and they give you 2 middle fingers and you're done. And you're forced to retire. Now, people get laid off from jobs, but that's not mostly how it happens. You stay at a job you really like, you stay at a career you really like, and then eventually you see down the road when you'd want to retire. Tua Tagovailoa has been doing this since he's 5 years old. It's his livelihood. One day, he just basically is told, you have to retire. On top of all the other anxiety that he has right now. Is he going to have permanent damage? Is he going to be able to think of his kids when he gets older? Is he going to remember his wife when he's older? Is this going to have worse, reprehensible damage to his cognitive ability? Like, those are all the things that Tua is worried about right now. But the NFL world and media members is just, you got to retire. That's not how this works. He's a competitor. He just got paid loads of money, $200 million. That's what Tua's getting. Now, listen, if the guy wants to retire, absolutely. Retire, man. You're going to be good for the rest of your life. If Tua Tagovailoa wants to retire, you go right on ahead, and I will support you 1,000%. But it is unfair and it is disingenuous for people on social media just to immediately call for a retirement for Tua Tagovailoa. Now, you can voice your opinion and say, I just don't want to see the guy potentially have a scrambled eggs for brain once again. I get that. I kind of feel that way too. Because last night was tough. I want to come on here and compare the two quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa and Josh Allen, and it just doesn't feel necessary right now. Because one guy in Josh Allen's career is ascending, and Tua's might have came to an abrupt stop. But before we just call for the retirement of Tua Tagovailoa, can we just step back and put ourselves in the shoes of Tua Tagovailoa? Seriously, before we just call for a young man's career to be cut short due to another devastating blow to the head. Can we all put ourselves in the shoes of Tua Tagovailoa? A sport that you've been playing your entire life, that you believe as quarterback's age, you can play this game until, if you're good enough, 35, 36 years old, potentially be a backup later on in your career. This is something you've done forever. This is the only thing you've ever known when it comes to having a career. And you're telling him to retire? I don't think it's that simple. You outside of the box, seeing someone get injured again, it's easy for you to say, oh, this guy's got to retire. It's not for him. He's a competitor. He's an athlete. This is his livelihood. This is his job. This is the only thing he's ever known. It's easy for you to just say, oh, he'll go get a job at doing Miami Dolphins broadcasting or Alabama Crimson Tide broadcasting. Sure, I guess you could say that. But nothing, and we see this all the time from players, nothing refills the feeling of refills the feeling of being an NFL football player, of Sundays, of Monday nights, of Thursday nights football. Nothing can fill that void. It's something you have to say goodbye to. And saying goodbye to it prematurely as an athlete where you probably didn't get to finish all the career accolades and goals you set for yourself, you just have to cut all those short? I, for one, will not hold anything against Tua if he doesn't want to if he does want to play again. I won't. If the guy wants to step on the field and continue to play football and just promise us all that he'll be more careful and he'll think about cognitively what he's going to do better next time, I'm all for it. I want what Tua wants. But I'm not just going to tell the guy he needs to retire. If he wants to retire, I'll support that as well. And I'm not necessarily looking forward to watching Tua Tagovailoa on the field, because every time he's going to play, I'm going to cringe of another possible head injury. I don't want to see that. I want to see him happy. I want to see him healthy. But ultimately, it's Tua's decision. He's an athlete. He's a competitor. This is all he's ever known is football. Imagine your career getting cut short at Tua's age, mid-20 years old. Something you've been working towards your entire life. You have an injury. You have to cut it short. Do you think it's that easy? Do you think it's that easy just to say, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Sorry. He's got kids. He's got a family he's got to provide for. He's got to think of what he's going to do later in life. He doesn't just want to sit on the couch all day. That's not how he became one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. I think it's disingenuous. If Tua wants to play, allow Tua to play. I'm not rooting for it. I want to see him healthy. But I'm not rooting against Tua wanting to come back and playing. Because ultimately it's his decision. And it's his livelihood. And it's a sport he loves. I can't imagine what it would do to me for some reason if I had to just quit broadcasting out of nowhere at 26 years old. I have no idea what I would do. No idea what I would do. This is my passion. I don't want to just retire and do something else. I've got no plan B. I don't know if Tua's got a plan B. I can only speak to myself. But it's disingenuous just to pull the card on the retirement thing. Now let's jump over to some lighter terms. Josh Allen is sensational. Josh Allen is unequivocally the second best quarterback in the NFL. Because last night, and although I don't want to take any shots at Tua Tagovailoa right now, it just doesn't feel authentic, so I'm just going to say what the facts were. Josh Allen on the road last night with lesser weapons, significantly lesser weapons, on a short week, having to travel, won again. 7-0 on Thursday night games, which shows he's not afraid of the limelight. There is no one more disrespected in the NFL than Josh Allen. The players voted him the most overrated player in the NFL of his peers. I don't know what they're watching. Josh Allen is sensational. All the guy does is win. And now he's got a real running back behind him. The first time he's had a real running game since his time in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills front office is finally supporting him. Getting him Keon Coleman. Now James Cook is starting to come into his own. This is what the Buffalo Bills needed to do. Become a more centric offense that is not so Josh Allen dependent. And aside from Patrick Mahomes, there is no quarterback better than Josh Allen. The separation between the second and third best quarterback from Josh Allen to, I don't care who you want to put there, Joe Burrow, I guess, is massive. He's got the best arm in the NFL. He's mobile. He's big. He is literally made in a lab of what a quarterback is supposed to look like. And all he does is win. Without Stephon Diggs, he's winning. With Stephon Diggs, he's winning. With Keon Coleman, he's winning. It doesn't matter what is put around him. He just wins games. And it's insane to me that there's an argument out there that Joe Burrow is better, or CJ Stroud's better, or Lamar Jackson's better. It's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, the Grand Canyon, and whatever quarterback you want to put third. Because there are a very select few quarterbacks in the NFL that can go on the road to a divisional opponent on a short week with much lesser weapons and a misfit cast of weapons and win easily. He was efficient. He saved their arse last week against the Arizona Cardinals. And that's why the Bills are 2-0. I know James Cook was awesome. There is not many quarterbacks, in my opinion, just two that can do what the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen did last night, which is be, once again, sensational. Sensational. That's what Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills were last night.